welcome to T Boys TV. We are back again with another hat show, obviously, episode 294. And obviously, in this one, we will obviously be talking about yesterday's defeat. Surprise, surprise, Luton back to their old selves. Really, we get a bit too complacent and then we just do the same old stuff. And then obviously, we get into the game on Sunday. We're doing it today because it's the regular day we usually do it on. Obviously, I know the game's in 2 games' time, but like I say, if any news does come out, then we will do a video. Well, I'll do a video tomorrow and talk about it. But obviously, we got the watch along on Sunday as well, and obviously the match action from myself. So hopefully, it's more positive, but can't guarantee anything with us. We're very inconsistent, as we know, and that is the problem. And we had 2 good home games, and then we come away and it's just the same old rubbish, really. But despite the football, Dad, how are you?
Yeah, all good, mate. Had a good New Year's Eve, so yeah, it's all good.
Yep, good to hear. And obviously, this is the first hat show. Obviously, you've seen us both anyway, but this is the first hat show of the new year. So, yeah, obviously, like I've said, we're getting closer to episode 300. So, hopefully, by the time we're there, we're talking a bit more positive and there's a bit more consistency by then. Obviously, that is only 6 episodes time, so you never know with us. But yeah, I mean, let's go through the comments. A lot of people putting comments in. Big up to Jackie in the chat. Hi, Ty and Daz. Good to see you in here, Jackie. Big up to Matt as well. He says, evening, fellas. Same to you as well, mate. Big up to Harry in the chat. Hope you're well. Yep, we're good. Thanks, mate. Hope you're well. Big up to Paul as well. Big up to Zero Nightlight. And he says, Happy New Year. Yep, you too, mate. But yeah, let's get into it. So, yeah, obviously we took on Exeter. Now, going into it, we both expected a close game. We wasn't underestimating them at all. But like a lot of teams on paper this year, even though football's not played on it, we should be beating these type of teams. Especially the last 2 games we've had, we've beat, I would say, teams that are probably going to be in the mid-table conversations. Overall, they're better sides, convincingly as well. But I knew it'd be difficult because of their home form, and not really knowing what to expect from us away still. And obviously, we did expect rotational changes. I was disappointed that a certain player wasn't in the lineup, and obviously, I'll get into that. And obviously, most of you will know who I'm on about anyway. But I expected rotation. We have to really. I mean, the games we got coming up, especially in terms of the travelling, we had to go all the way down to Devon to then go back up to. There's just going to be changes. But the one player that I was gutted to not even see on the bench, and obviously I did say I'd start him for the game, is Ali. I mean, against his former club, I'm not taking it as he's ill or anything like that because he was at the players thing that they do, mainly for the kids getting the pictures and autographs. So I think he was fine personally. Yes, he's not been on the greatest form this season, but last time we played Exeter in the Cup, he done well. Players against their former club when they have played, they've proven to do well this year. You obviously look at Kadoa recently against, even though he does well against everyone, obviously against Wickham, and the problem was for me is, yes, I expected the rotation. I've got no problem with the rotation, but the options from the bench were crap. Let's just be real. Other than Lamine, we didn't have any players for me that can make an impact off that bench, and that was the disappointing thing. I know Kadoa has obviously got a knock, so that's unfortunate, but it's nothing too serious, Wilshere has said. So I expect to see him either in the next game or he's got to be playing in the Stevenage game. If it's not that serious, we need to have him in the games because, we know how good he is. He's obviously our top scorer. A lot of people saying they want to get that deal proper done, even though it is basically done. So, yeah, that was a disappointing thing for me because the only position, like I've said loads of times, I've got faith in is our wingers in terms of we've got quality all round from the left to the right. Obviously, Ethan Archer now, it's going to be interesting to see, does he come into the squad in terms of the first team, obviously on the bench. Obviously, he had his last game for Cheltenham yesterday. So, yeah, I mean, that's going to be interesting as well. But I just don't think, obviously, people are saying, if Ali will go, I just don't think he should be going. I mean, yes, he's not had the greatest season overall for us, but the last few games he has played, he's done well. And again, going back to that Fleetwood game, I get you're managing players, but with him, he's had a lack of game time compared to the other wingers. He should have stayed on longer in that game as well. And he should have at least been on the bench for me in this game. But in terms of the lineup anyway, so we had Shea in goal. Obviously, Keeley we all know, obviously, at that moment. So he obviously wasn't in goal, didn't want to risk him. That's completely fine. 9 times out of 10, Shea does well, and he done well in this game. Walter's right back, who I actually thought had a really good game. I actually thought he was our best player. I'm not going to lie. Mengi, you're going to put him in, no problem with that. Longwick centre back, again, I don't mind seeing him there. That's actually where he should be playing. Johnson at the time had no problem with that. Still think we need to go out and get another left back. And Wilshere obviously said, he's basically, looked at him obviously not too long ago and thought he could be the answer. Basically, I still think we need experience on that side as well as the right. Saville and Walsh. I mean, Walsh, I would have played for this game. I thought he started off well. Second half, I thought he was poor. Saville, I mean, I personally, I didn't think he was too bad. I know people say, oh, I passed it round about, but they're getting told to do that. They're getting told to do that because we want to play like flipping Arsenal. We want to keep the ball. We even look at our corners. They're so similar to Arsenal's. I don't like that type of football. And it's not League One. You don't play like that in League One. So frustrating. And, other than the handballs he done, I actually thought he had a good game personally. And I thought Walsh should have been the one to be taken off because he was all over the place. Gave away a clumsy foul. Don't know how he played a full 90 minutes, to be quite honest with you. Morris on the right, again, not quite as impactful, unfortunately, for him. Bramall, his crossing was pretty poor, I've got to be honest. Clark centrally, I mean, again, felt sorry for Clark. He was the only one who actually made our chances happen. And then Yates up front. Yates was shocking. I don't want to see Yates start anytime soon. I've got no problem with him being on the bench. I'm not going to be that harsh and say he needs to fucking go yet, but Wells needs to be playing because Wells has had more of an impact. Yes, he hasn't scored, but he's more effective in the games than Yates, to be honest. And, I just don't want to keep getting to that stage where we go, oh, it will happen eventually. When? We're halfway through the fucking season now. We need something to happen now. It's just so frustrating. And then the bench, obviously, Anderson. Again, few people argue maybe he could have started. And we did miss like his type of play in this game, which I do agree with. Brown, well, I've already said my thoughts on Brown. Lamine, again, the only player for me that could have made an impact off that bench, and he tried to. Fox, obviously, he's been in the Virtue Trophy games a few times. Nelson, Thomas, again, the keeper, has been in around the first team. And then Wells. So, yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm just gutted that Ali wasn't in, to be honest. I've got to that stage with like Nordos where I'm not even going to talk about him anymore because we clearly don't want him for whatever flipping reason that is. I don't care if he don't score loads of goals. He's more effective than any of them other strikers at this moment in time. But we ain't going to do it. So, yeah, frustrating, really. But again, Dad, like we say, we expected the changes. But, yeah, I mean, was you gutted any particular players weren't in the lineup at least?
Not gutted, but, a little bit surprised. But it is what it is. These are the things you've got to learn from. I didn't have Walsh starting. I had Nelson starting. You could argue that he ain't done, but he's more fresher. Savile I had no problem with. Morris, not really. Do you know what I mean? It's a shame Kadora got knocked. That was a bit disappointing. And then Yates, you'd expect him to do something up front, Walters, I wanted to see him start. Start with Mengi. Johnson probably didn't really have much choice. Shea kind of half expected that anyway. But, still go out there and at least get a draw.
Yeah, and I think we would have been very fortunate to get a draw in the end. Obviously, we had a conversation about the game again earlier. And, obviously at the time I'd have took it because we were pushing. But overall, we didn't really deserve it. Whereas there's been for example, even though the Leighton Orient away game from us was shocking from both sides, neither team deserved it. So that would have been a bit different. But I've got to be honest, Exeter, they deserve to win the game. I mean, we didn't even have a shot on target yet again. I mean, how many games have we said that? I think that's so... the thing is, right, obviously the strikers, the annoying thing for me is when they get the chances, they're not burying them. However, I do think the way we're trying to play with this isolated one just doesn't help. Especially with Yates, I've got to be honest, as much as I thought he was awful again, there was times we're trying to play the long ball up to him. He's not a player that's known for bringing the ball down. If you're going to play any of the strikers, in that type of thing, you play Nordos. I mean, you've shown that you've seen that he's good at bringing the ball down. Yeah, and again, I don't care if he's not scoring the goals. I mean, let's be honest. The last two games when Wells wasn't scoring the goals and we were winning, we didn't really care because he was actually. Well, I didn't. Maybe some of you did, but I didn't because he was still affecting the play. He was actually getting stuck in. Whereas Yates is just too anonymous for me. But it doesn't help in that aspect as well. And like I've said, I don't think it will change. The only time I think it might change is if we got the likes of Elijah back or El Hamadi, because then we'll have more options from the bench as well. But other than that, I can't see it changing, to be quite honest with you. I think we do believe this works. Yes, you could argue it worked in the last two games, the previous games, but I'm looking at that sole one up front. And yes, teams play one up front, but they play one up front with wingers. We play with left midfielders, Cam behind, and then a right midfielder. We don't play with wingers when we should because we've got really good wide options, and that is what frustrates me. We don't do that. But yeah, I mean, in terms of the first half, I thought we started all right. First 10 minutes. I thought that press, like we've seen in home games, Huddersfield at home, Bolton at home, and the two last home games was there. I thought Walsh started all right, but after that, I've got to be honest, like not just him, I thought loads of players were poor. I mean, I've got to be honest, I thought Johnson trying to go forward was decent, but passing wise, wasn't great. There was a few hospital passes to Bramall. There was a stage where I believe their striker nearly got onto it. I think lucky enough, Longwick was there. And when we did get the ball, we tried to cross. I've got to be honest, like Bramall's been brilliant for us so far, but yesterday it wasn't the best of games from him. Obviously, there was a few times he crossed the ball in a bit overhit. But my problem, again, like I've said, was there was no option off the bench. That could have been a perfect game to have Ali in, take him on, bring him on for Bramall, and try and cause that havoc against his former club, sort of show why he's highly rated there. Obviously, do something against former club, but we didn't see that. And yeah, I thought we were quite sloppy towards the end of that half. I mean, if Exeter were a slightly better side, we could have been about 2 or 3 down, in my opinion. I mean, they hit the post, which was very unlucky. They obviously had that mad corner, didn't they, where they crossed it in. Johnson done well to head it away initially. To be honest, I felt he done well to head it away both times, but the second time is the problem we've had for years now, and that's getting onto the second balls. And then he's got all the time in the world to have the shot, which dipped. Shea done a save as well, which, he done well to save it. And again, I felt sorry for Shea because I actually thought he had a decent game. And other than his last game, 9 times out of 10, like I say, is reliable for Luton. And again, it was another one of them performances where you look at from him and you feel sorry for him. I mean, me personally, I felt sorry for him. I know we didn't have a manager and obviously Lawless stepped in, but like even that Cambridge game, I felt sorry for Shea that night as well, to be quite honest with you. But yeah, I mean, not a great half, really, was it, Dad? And also, before you say your thoughts as well, before I forget, and I mentioned it on the match reaction, they got yellow cards at 0-0. They were getting frustrated at 0-0. We should have tried to capitalise on that. I'd have expected that if we were 1-0 up.
Yeah, I don't know why they're getting so frustrated, to be honest. They, we started off right, Walsh spraying out some nice passes. It just seems that sometimes if we don't, that kit as well, just bin it off. I swear it's unlucky. We just, as soon as certain stuff doesn't work and we get put on us a little bit, I thought we'd sorted that out, but clearly not. The rotation was there, but sometimes they had 2 up front. They played the 3 at the back 4. You know what I mean? So you can do it, but yeah, just a lot of imbalance, and it looked like Kadu is massive for us. Do you know what I mean? And we know that other players can step up, but Walsh maybe a game too far. Johnson a little bit a game too far, but I'm not blaming him too much because I'm not sure who else he could have put there majorly. Although thinking about it, Walters, I thought he was good. I don't know why people were being critical of him. He was, defensively as good as the others. And going forward, looking little jinking runs and that, looking good quality there. considering he's just got that, he ain't played for ages, that reputation there. People just look back on that. But if you look at the game, I thought it was pretty good, and I fully expect him to be starting the next game as well. Yeah, and then the second half, it was just more of the same old, same old. That was a great finish by their guy, but the free kick, could have been avoided, and they got a player like he's a proper old school player, just attempt to bang it in. Do you know what I mean? Have that crap. We haven't really got that.
That's sort of reminded me. Obviously, the finish was better. Sorry to cut you off there, just quickly. It reminded me of that Sonny Bradley goal. Do you remember? Like, obviously, different in terms of the finish, but like just taking on that effort.
You need a lot. You need a team. You need a hard workers in this league, and I don't think we've got enough hard workers personally, and that's the problem. I think Savile is, but he shouldn't be doing it all in his fucking self. Do you know what I mean? So there was moments in there where you can see we got the quality, but it's the same thing. You should be putting them to the sword. I said before the game, we should be beating them. Do you know what I mean? And it was getting there, but again, 2 steps forward, 1 step back. Do you know what I mean? And that's the problem. January, is here now. It's here now. So we need, do you know what I mean? We need some get on it and get these signings, get them positions in. I see some people saying about striker. For me, it's not. We need to play 2 up front. That's it for me. It's just too much to ask. Poachers basically like Yates and Wells to play the lone fucking wolf role. Elijah, yeah, he's got height, like say Nordas, even Brown. But I don't think his art's in it anyway. And he wants to move. But yeah, overall, fucking annoying. So he might as well get into the player ratings, because Shea, though, he did make a couple of good saves. That one-handed save was good. And then he had another one later on. So, it could have been 3-0 if it weren't for him. And that's just not fucking good enough for a team that's, really lacking in funds. Seems to have a good academy. That we've got 2 players off of them. They've had, I think, Ollie Watkins come from them originally as well. They are well run generally, and they're doing well to be in the league, and they probably will stay up if they carry on fighting like that. But just what is it? Just go gung-ho. Stop trying to be Arsenal in League One. I get you want to change things and that, and go forward and play a certain way so it's ingrained in that, but you can't. It's just not like there's almost no point in League One to a certain extent. If you're comfortable and you're cruising, then yeah, you know what I mean. But if you're 1-0 down against a team that's fighting relegation, you're supposed to be going for promotion. You're not even getting a fucking shot on target. I mean, come on. You know what I mean? You can it's still ingrain that stuff in training, but it needs to be switched up. And it won't work in the Championship either, because you need the quality of players to do that. And I don't think with certain players haven't got it. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, I agree. And again, it goes back to what I said. Like players like Savile, right? He shouldn't even be fucking trying to be creative anyway. That's not his game, right? And when Walsh, don't get me wrong, the 2 home games, he was brilliant. And that's why I said I'd start him again. But he's not a defensive midfielder. Yeah, this is why we need to go out and get a defensive midfielder. And I said, well, in fact, me and my dad said on one of the recent shows, it might have even been the last one or the one before that, it's not going to work continuously with Liam Walsh there. And that's also why part of, obviously Dad can say for himself, but I think that's maybe a part of why I didn't put him in for this particular away game as well. Because of, it's not going to work every game. I look at the Stockport game, right? And again, yes, I know they had key players missing for that game. but they were putting pressure on us in them first 15 to 20 minutes. Well, to the first 20 minutes, basically, right? And we had Savile in his own role. So it's shown that it can work. He shouldn't be having to attack. That's not his game. It's just not his game. It's stupid. It is so stupid. And what annoys me is I still don't know what we're doing with Lamine, like in terms of where we want to play him. So when we're sitting there putting Lamine and Walsh there, that's why I don't think Lamine's been as effective, because I don't think he even knows what his role is. And he seems to be better going forward for us, I would say, than the defensive. Times he's been defensive, he hasn't been good. You only have to look at that Sunderland game last year. So it's just annoying. Like, this is the problem, and I'm sorry, this is the problem with Walsh. He's not consistent. He's not consistent enough, and it's so frustrating. But we're going to go through the comments because loads going in. Hope you both had a new good New Year's, says David. Fingers crossed for a better result to kick off. Yeah, well, unfortunately, we've not kicked off the greatest, mate. But yeah, hopefully as it goes on, obviously we do. And yeah, man, we shall see. Jackie says shocking. Yep, absolutely. Be interesting if this is a one. Yeah, I agree, mate. It's just one of them. I believe Yates is slightly better than Wells, so they're both super. Well, I'm basing it on form, and as much as their goals are not proven to be there, I think Wells has been more influential in the last few games. But going into the season, mate, I'd agreed with you. I'd have said Yates is better, especially with obviously being younger. I expected Wells to be a bit more of a rotational striker. But yeah, like I say, I think the sole one up front is not helping them. But at the same time, what annoys me is when they get the chances, they're not taking them. For Yates, you only have to go back to that Northampton game. 2 great chances, didn't score. So yeah, it's frustrating. I think he's only got like 2 goals this season. And one of them was, I'm not being funny, one of them was Lamine's hard work, against Huddersfield. And then the other one was a penalty against Plymouth, which we still ended up losing the game. Weren't down to him, but yeah. So do you know what I mean? Like, it's just not good enough. No, I definitely agree. He was trying, but I just think we need a bit of experience on that left-hand side, the same as that right. And again, I thought Walters had a good game. I agree with you, Dad. I thought he was our best player, I've got to be honest. But I just think we still need someone who's got a bit of know-how to, help them. Because I think certain games, they might get a bit like, caught out, personally. Yeah, some of the results yesterday were mad. Yeah, I've got to be honest. Great, isn't the best. I mean, I think it was there. I just think yesterday he just didn't have a great game, to be honest. I thought Walters was okay, says Jackie. Harry says, is Bramwell possibly a player that could be more influential off the bench? 30 minutes to go, do you both think? Oh, I don't know, mate, because I think he can still play a game. I just think the problem was because he didn't have a great game yesterday, there was no one to come on for him. But he could be a good player off the bench as well in certain games if you have like Kadara on the left. Because I'm trying to base it on the fact that we just don't use Ali for whatever reason. And then he can definitely, because there was a game, I think it was Bolton, where he might have even played the whole game, but he was still if we were going to score, it's from him doing something, like his assist or whatever. So I do think, he can still start and do it, but this is where you've got, and again, any successful football club has 2 good players in every area, and this is why I also say we need to get a left back and a right back as well, so we can have 2 good players in that position and not shoehorning, even though I think he's all right there, for the future, like Longwick there, where we can just put him in centre back or not right back. Do you know what I mean? That's just how I see it. Yeah, I hear that. But like I say, for me, it's the chances that is annoying me the most with him. So yeah, that's what I will say. G1 says, lackluster, players seem tired and lacking ideas. Seem like they're also from a number of games. Exeter wasn't. And I thought I would tell me. I mean, possibly, but even then, them players weren't playing, so I can't defend it, especially when they play Exeter, and yes, that was a home game, but we put out second team and we do what we done in that game, and then this game we can't even have a fucking shot on target. other than Jordan Clark. It's crazy to me, absolutely crazy. So yeah, Jackie says she's got no faith in Yates and Brown. Yeah, Brown, I've got to totally agree. I mean, Yates for me, he shouldn't be starting anytime soon. I've got to be honest now. At this moment in time. So yeah. Oh mate, they get on really well. So yeah, probably it's fucking tried to get advice from him, but it just annoys me because people go, "Oh yeah, look how Arsenal are doing now." Okay, cool. They still haven't won a trophy to this day, and they might not even fucking win the league. It's not guaranteed, is it? Yeah, I hope so, but it's paid a full 90 minutes, mate. Paid a full 90 minutes yesterday, so it's probably a bollocks rumour. I've been waiting for Brown to be since he's joined. It's just not happening. Yeah, like I say, he's had a few good moments, but overall, like he's not done anything really. Ultimately, he's not done nothing. Like I said yesterday. Um, so yeah, yeah, I do think we are saying, you know, I do think we're hoping on Elijah a bit too much. I get why people are like, yeah, he should do well, because there was a stage where he was doing really well in the Prem, and then he got that injury. And for me, he probably would have ended up being our top scorer in the Premier League if he didn't get that injury. But I only have to go back to last year. We did miss loads of big chances, so I'm not putting all my eggs in the basket that he is going to fucking definitely be the answer. But I do expect him to still be better than the current strikers that we have now, even if it's not by much. I just do expect that. So, yeah, I agree in certain ways, mate. But yeah, moving on to the player ratings. So we'll start off with Shea. Like I say, I thought he had a decent game. I mean, he made some good saves, like you say. The one that was a really good save for me was that one in the second half where he tipped it over. That was a good save. And, I'll be open to him starting again if Keely's still not 100%. So, yeah, Shea was all right, man. I felt sorry for him. I'll give him a 7. He couldn't do anything about a goal.
Yeah, I'll give him 7. Obviously, he's not on the ball like Keely is, as that kind of. But at times, a lot more calmer. And made some good saves. And I'd like to see him in the next game, personally. But I'll give him a 7.
Yeah, fair enough. And then moving on to Walters. I mean, I'm not giving him man of the match, but if I was, it would be him. I did think he was our best player. I actually don't think he was that bad. I really, really don't. Especially in that first half, I thought when we were going forward, he was actually quite good in the passing, getting involved, getting tackles. 2 moments in that first half as well. He skilled up 2 players. So there was a moment where he skilled up 2 players at one point. Not massively skilled, but got past them, and then he done it again later in that half. I actually thought he was our best player, so I'll give him 7.5.
Yeah, he's obviously got talent. You know what I mean? And he's one player that you'd feel that should probably thrive under Wilshere. And he's had a game and a half, and this game, out of everyone else, he was going forward. He looked like a quality player. He's not suffering from that sort of hoodoo what everyone else seems to be suffering from. So I think he could end up claiming that spot. And also we know that at times I think we played him in that position before, but he was more attacking. He can get the crosses in and stuff as well. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I thought he was really good. Like I say, I ain't giving no man a match, but I'll actually give him a 7.5.
Yeah, there we go, on the same wavelength there. Yeah, like I've said, I think he is good going forward, especially like when someone else is up there. He's good at being effective on like the right hand side. I think me personally, I think there is a few moments defensively a little bit where he gets caught out, but that's why I say like I wouldn't mind keeping him, obviously, but I'd just like to get someone with a bit of know-how that can help him on, and then have another good option there. Because let's be honest, we've been saying for a while now that we feel we need a left back and a right back. So if we can get someone to sort of help him like in training and things like that, like I think that'll be good, because I don't think he had the worst start at the start of the season. But like, I remember when we played Peterborough and we beat them 2-0, and don't get me wrong, they were awful that day. But like, I remember he was getting a lot of criticism and things, which maybe is a little bit harsh. But I personally think we still just need to get someone with a bit of experience to help him, like I say. But Jackie says Shay 7 agrees with us there, and Walter's 7.5 as well. Moving on to Mengi, I don't feel he had the best of games. I felt him and Longwick at times they were getting caught out a little bit too easily. I've got to be honest. So yeah, Mengi not quite the level of what he has been, but wasn't as bad as other players. So I'll give him a 6.5.
Yeah, I don't think he was terrible. Again, played a lot of games recently. Another one like he might be off in a couple of weeks. But yeah, maybe it's a little bit of not being as he played with Longwick before. I'm not sure he has. He might have, but I think he's more comfortable with Anderson. But you weren't really at fault for anything. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I'll give him 6.5.
Yeah, exactly. Jackie's gone with the same. Moving on to Longwick himself. Obviously, that was his first game in centre back that we've seen since Huddersfield, I believe. Um, it's quite a weird one because he's actually had recent games, better games in right back. Again, similar to Mengi, he wasn't like awful, but like I say, there was a few times they were getting in behind a bit too easy. I felt. So yeah, I mean, for him, I'll just go the same as Mengi, 6.5.
Yeah, I thought it was maybe slightly better, but I'll just give him 6.5. I think was it him who rescued Johnson when Johnson got done and slipped?
I think it was him, yeah.
Sure. So his awareness and that, and he's willing to play in these positions is good. So I don't think it was too bad. 6.5.
Yeah, fair enough. Jackie's gone the same. Moving on to Johnson. Again, I thought, and I said it on the watch on, which was quite interesting with him. He was going through the middle quite a lot, making forward runs, and he weren't doing too bad in that aspect. But the one thing that did annoy me a little bit, I've got to be honest, well, more than a little bit, was when he dragged the player down. I was a bit frustrated with that because somehow I didn't get a yellow card for that. But it was just I get that the player was going forward out wide, but I just think, it weren't like it was needed to happen for me. So it's just them little moments similar to Walters for me. If we can get someone to sort of guide them a little bit, then I think we can be all right. But like I say, I wouldn't mind having him as another option as well. But I just feel there is some few moments sometimes from him. But again, he wasn't one of the worst players. I'll give him 6.5.
Yeah, same for the same points.
Yeah, there you go. Jackie's gone with the same. Moving on to Walsh again. Like I said, I thought he started well. Opening few minutes, he was good. But second half, I mean, he was awful. For me, it was from that moment he gave away that foul. And then he was just all over the place. The passing was off. And they've done him so easy at times. Way too easy. And that goes back to
the first goal, he got bullied off the ball, which I could see was happening against who was it who played before that?
Leighton Orient.
Yeah. And I said to you, I think I've said it before, if it's calm and he's not under pressure and he can spray the ball out where he wants, fine. But if someone's on him, League One players just jumping all over, mate, it's not working, and that's why Saville should be there, because he won't. That won't happen with him. So yeah, and that was a bit what happened, and then he gets frustrated. He can't play the way he wants to play. So yeah, I'd give him a 5.
Do you know what? I will agree with you. But what I will add as well is I do agree with you. I think when we're playing, low block teams at home, I feel we can be beneficial in them type of games because we're expected to have the ball. But when we're playing teams like Exeter, and don't get me wrong, I said I'd start him, but that was based on his recent form. And it goes back to what we said not too long ago, one of the recent shows. We still feel we need someone else, to be that's more defensive minded to play there. And I think them and Saville could do well. Me personally, I think this Saville criticism is way too harsh for me. I mean, yes, he passes the ball back, but he's being told to do that. And that's his, he's a defensive-minded midfielder. Walsh should be the one trying to string the passes and make the things happen, from that position. Saville's there to mop up. Attacking is not his game. But I do agree with you, Matt, and I've said that, mate. I think he started off well, but I think as the game grew on, he weren't great for me, especially that second half. And people were saying it in the live chat. You know, they were saying that inconsistency showing again. And for me, like I say, it was as soon as he gave away that foul, he was all over the place for me, getting done way too easy and being exploited really in that position. So yeah, for me, I will give him a 5, like you say, Dodge. Yeah, sorry, 5. Jackie's gone slightly higher, 7 for Walsh. Moving on to Morris. See, Morris was trying to do things, but it just wasn't working. And it was a shame
We
because
haven't done Savile yet, have we?
Oh yeah, sorry, Savile. Yeah, sorry, it's because I was talking about him a minute ago. Right, I actually didn't think he had a bad game other than the handballs.
6.5, like he was throwing himself about more. Do you know what I mean? Doing what trying to break.
He should have stayed on. Walsh should have been the one taken off.
Yeah,
for me. So yeah, I agree. I was going to go with a 6, but I'll go 6.5. Yeah, I agree. Yes, he was passing back, but like I say, he's been told to do that, and that he's a defensive-minded player. He shouldn't really be thinking to pass it forward. To be honest, like he's there to mop
he
up
does at times anyway.
Yeah, and even at the start of the season, when we worked, and we still are, obviously in this game, struggling to have the shots on target, he was having our best chances in the early games, especially at home. I mean, that Wimbledon game, he had that shot. Do you remember from outside the box? He scored against Wigan, which was obviously one of the earlier games. So that's not his game. I don't look at him and go, "Oh, he should be scoring goals. He should be doing this. He should be doing." I don't look at him like that. I look at him to be mopping up.
He scored more goals than Walsh has for us.
Yeah. Walsh got 2 assists his whole time at Luton. He's meant to be a creative midfielder, and now we're playing him in defensive midfield. Crazy. But yeah, I agree. Morris, like I say, he just didn't quite get to make an impact he would have wanted to. Unfortunately, obviously I wouldn't have started him, but we had to because there's no Kadoa, so I do get that. So yeah, unfortunately for him, I'll give him a 6.
I think he was just trying too hard. He saw a lot of the ball, but done hardly anything from what we've seen before. So I'm going to give him a 5.5.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. Jackie's rating for Savile is a 6. Moving on to Bramall. It was a crossing for me, which was disappointing from him in this game. But again, he has been really good so far. So I'm not going to, it's not like he's been crap majority of the games. That was probably his first real bad game. Maybe that and Cambridge in the Cup. I'd probably say they're the only ones. But yeah, just a crossing. It was over hit, man. So I'll just give him a 6.
5.5.
Fair enough. Jackie's gone 6.5 for obviously Morris. Matt says, for me, Savile played a lot better for Millwall. Yeah, I think it's the way we're trying to play with him, mate. I really, really do. Like, he shouldn't be a player we look at, and I'm not saying you guys do, but it just seems like outside, the way our fans look at him is like he should be scoring goals and being attacking. That is not his game. He is a defensive midfielder.
In the Championship, you've got more, in my opinion, you've got more combative midfielders. You've got more, talent in the midfield areas. Whereas in this league, you haven't really. It's more lump it, and stuff. So that makes him look ineffective as well. Do you know what I mean? At times, because it's just bypassing him. He's the type of midfielder. You see a lot. A player running through, he'll get the tackle in. He'll break up play. Do you know what I mean? A bit, not obviously not on nowhere near on the level, but like Barkley did for us in the Premier League. But in this league, is because the way teams are playing and the way we're playing as well, it is at a disadvantage a little bit for that, especially with people like. I think he'd be better playing with Lamine next to him. I know Lamine prefers to get forward and stuff, but he has got pace and he's a lot stronger than Walsh is. So yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. But like I was saying, we shouldn't look at him like he's an attacking midfielder. And I get I'm frustrated when we pass it round the back, but that is a manager thing. That is the managers telling them to do it. You watch our watch-alongs, guys, and obviously, majority of you do. Shout out to yourselves. you will see me get frustrated because we're passing it around, and I'm like, we've got an opportunity to try and attack, and that's also, excuse me, every time one of our wide players is on the ball, because I know they're good at taking on the man and being direct. I want to see that. I do get frustrated when they cut it back. Sometimes they have to, don't get me wrong, because they're getting doubled up on. Like that happened a few times with Morris yesterday. And I did feel, as much as he didn't have a great game, I felt they dealt with him pretty well. So I will give him credit for that. But it's just frustrating. We shouldn't be looking at him like that type of player. And again, I don't even look at stats, but I saw this stat, like one of our highest rated consistency player, like consistency good ratings, and it's actually him. He's like second behind Clark and Kadoa. Behind Clark, because they're basing it on the start before Kadoa come on and stuff. So it's harsh for me. It is harsh. So yeah, 6.5. I read that. 6 says Jackie on Brummel, which is fair enough. Moving on to Clark. I mean, it felt like Clark FC in that second half. If we were going to score, it's because of him. I mean, he had that shot, didn't he? Which should have been a corner. I'm not saying we would have definitely scored from it, but that was a bit annoying. And obviously, he was the only one who had the good chance in the first half for us. The good bit of skill, put it over the bar. I mean, yeah, we missed Kadoa alongside helping him, really, in terms of that attacking spark. But yeah, I felt sorry for Clark in the game. I'll give him do you know what? I'll give him a 7. Yeah, 7.
Yeah, I'll give him a 7. He was always looking good on the ball, good touches on the ball. Do you know what I mean? Looking effective, like how he has been for us, fucking pretty much throughout his time with us. And he's definitely improved as well, massively. Has become a better player as well. But yeah, he just works hard, and then you just need the other players linking up with him like they back in the day. It's annoying. And he played the whole game as well. But he has to, doesn't he? But yeah, I'll give him a 7.
Yeah, if we were going to score a goal that game, it would have been through him doing something.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there was obviously a few moments. I believe he had a touch when Longwick had the shot, and then Wells obviously went down. Looking back, it wasn't a penalty. Wells, I think he sort of fell over, like the ball. I don't know.
Quite slippy. I know the pitch weren't great, but
to be fair, I thought it weren't great only near the halfway line.
Yeah.
I thought other than that, it was all right.
They done all right on here, but they were slipping over a few times as well.
Yeah, it was annoying. Like Johnson got done at one point. Do you remember? A lot of other players slipped as well. So maybe we might need some better boots, mate, to be honest. But yeah, moving on to Yates, like I say, I've got to be honest. Like, I don't like the lumping up to him, but at the same time, he's not being effective. Like, he's not trying to, like, he comes deep, and actually tries to get the ball, and he did a few times. But my problem with that, again, if he's being told to do that, which he probably is, there's no options. If we go forward and try and hit a team on the counter, there's no options up there. And that is, again, another problem I have with this sole one striker, with the way we play with the sole striker. So, yeah, for me, I've got to give him a 5.
4. Anonymous, mate. Well, I didn't even think he was on the pitch at times. Frustrating. Yeah, as we've said, when we signed him, we was happy. He had experienced it in this league before. Still scored 10 goals in the Championship last season, wasn't it? 27, sort of in the peak of his career. But 2 up front. I've seen him playing 2 up front with us in the cup games when him and Nordar saw him. It works. So I don't know why we're so scared. We're not scared. They said we haven't got the players for it. I think we have. We're playing 4 at the back now. You could put 4 in midfield. You could have Kadoa can play as a right midfielder. Morris can play as that as well. Like, we're just too obsessed with this wingers shit, I think. I know we've got Ethan Archer. Personally, I think he should come straight into the squad, because he's been playing consistently, for a League 2 team who's struggling, who were like in the relegation zone. I think they've climbed out of it. He's got a couple of assists, a couple of goals. always seems to be their best player. Obviously works hard and is used to this type of hoofball or certain physical elements and things like that in the game. He's been playing it. Do you know what I mean? He's come up from non-league. I think he's the sort of player that you need to do, like Kadua is doing. And I think Ali was doing it, but he just seems to have lost that consistency. I think Kadua is just too good of a player to drop that. And he's just strong as well, and that's what helps him massively. But yeah, I'll be bringing him straight in. Yeah, I'll give him a 4, anonymous.
Yeah, I agree. He was very anonymous. But yeah, in terms of Ethan Archer, I do agree. I do definitely agree, because I don't want it to be another situation where, we just have these players and then they don't really get the opportunity, especially with attacking players. We've had it a lot over the years.
Yeah, we've done it too much.
I mean, we've done it with Pebble, and then Pebble scores a late on goal the other day for Plymouth. Yeah. Yeah, they are out of the zone now. I was just having a look. I think they've been out of the zone for a while, Dan, because they're on 27 points.
Yeah,
and
that's what I mean. They picked up.
Yeah. Fair play. And I think, didn't he get an assist on his last game for him as well?
Yeah, they've probably got a good sell-on clause or some clause in there. If you get promoted to the Championship, you've got to give us do you know what I mean?
Yeah, probably. I wouldn't be surprised, because their manager, I didn't watch the official, what he said, but I know obviously he was a bit gutted that he's obviously officially now going.
Yeah.
So yeah, and again, the thing is though, what I will say about the winger thing, I don't feel we're playing the wingers how we should. We can easily, for me, and I said it to you earlier, we can easily play a 4-3-3. With this 4 at the back, we can have 3. You can have I don't know. You can have someone in the central bit, but the wingers in particular, like that 3, and then the striker, that would work better. I wouldn't mind that as much, because the striker is guaranteed to have someone next to him on the left and the right. Whereas this formation, they're behind them. Do you know what I mean? And it's just, I don't like it. It's just, no. It can work at home. It's obviously proven to do that. But then that sole one is the problem that's not working. And it's so annoying, because we said it last year. No, we need 2 up front, because there was a stage where Rob Edwards was playing 1 up front, which was Morris.
And that was what I have seen is they're encouraging Clark to kind of almost be that second striker at times. But he is 30. He gives it all on in the central midfielder. Do you know what I mean? You can't expect him to do that too often. And if you're going to do that, you might as well just bang someone else up front, or put someone in that position. We've tried it. You've seen we've been trying it with Kadua. We tried it with him. We've been trying it a little bit, but I'd be, I think Yates and Wells would probably be better in one of them positions, and then have another striker up front if you're going to do that, because they're more naturally inclined to get in the right positions and things like that. Do you know what I mean? And we've done it a little bit under Nathan Jones with Woodrow, didn't we? Sort of played him in that sort of cam role. So, I'd prefer them to be like that, especially if we get Al Hamadi back, pace, strength, Elijah back. They should be the ones that are up top. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
No, I do hear that. Definitely. Jackie's gone Yates 2. I can't blame you. Clark 7.7. And then moving on to the subs, Wells, I mean, couldn't really make an impact, really. And I didn't really think he was going to anyway, to be honest. So, yeah, I'll just give him a 6.
Yeah, so.
Brown, well, I've had enough of Brown. I said it in my match reaction yesterday. I can't defend him anymore. He can't even play up front. And then we put him out wide. He can't even do that. And what frustrates people the most with him is, how much he's on a week. And he has, he just drops stinkers after stinkers. And whether that Bristol City rumour was true, the transfer, I mean, if that is true and you're half injured, mate, fuck off. Seriously, I've had enough now. You ain't done anything, ultimately. You have not done anything. And you've been shocking. I mean, I remember doing a video when we signed him. And at the time, I thought it was like a Taylor replacement. I mean, Taylor had less opportunities and done more than fucking Brown has. Let's be honest, it's so poor. I've had enough of players like that. Yeah, just rubbish. It don't matter where you put him. You could put him centrally, like more as a cam in the like Clark position. You could put him out on the right, you put him out on the left, or up front. He doesn't do anything. So yeah, for me, shocking. I'm giving him a 5.
Yeah, I'll give him a 5. You know, I don't know whether it's he's kind of knows he's half out the door. You know, he has got ability, but you know, even when we signed him, I think some Stoke fans weren't even bothered, and stuff like that. And he scored a couple of goals, so he's just not been nowhere near consistent for us. Especially, yeah, he's been injured, but he's not. You know, other players have come back and made more of an impact. You know, when Jones come back from injury, excellent.
Exactly, first game.
You know, and other players have come in and just done better. So, yeah, I'd say, and then silly foul as well. I'd say he's probably on his way out. But, you know, cash in. You know, he had a little bit of experience with us. It is what it is. You know, good luck to him. But that's what I think was probably going to happen, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if I could pick, I'd actually get him out in January, to be quite honest here. I've just had enough now. And I know like you know, people that defend the club to the hills, like even they've had enough. Even they've had enough of him now. Like it's just got to that stage now where it's like
Nordas has been, you know, better than him.
yeah, exactly. And this is the thing, like I don't like. Obviously, you want the strikers to score goals, but if they're not scoring the goals, but they're affecting, like Wells has been in the last 2 games, I don't really care. Like if they're helping others, you know. But him, it's just been crap, absolutely crap. So yeah, I've had enough of him, to be honest. Oh mate, he needs a loan move for me. He needs a loan move. I keep saying that. I don't want to keep going, oh yeah, but he's this, he's that. He's not even one of our own. You know, that's what annoys me when Luton posts that. He's not. Come through Tottenham's academy, mate. But yeah, I mean, as for him, like even when he's coming on, he's not going to make an impact for me. So I'll just give him a 6. Lamine, I'll give slightly higher. I'll give him a 6.5 because he was getting involved and he was trying to get on the ball and make things happen. But yeah, would you agree with the rating stud?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Other ratings, Wells 6, Brown 2. I don't blame you. Patchy also says we look lost out of ideas without Kadoa. Yeah, 100%, mate. He just makes things happen. Same can be the case with Ali. Exactly. Need so much creativity on the wings, but with Brown and Longwick down one side, we have nothing. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I have to agree with that. And that's the thing. Like, obviously, Kadoa got injured, which is a knock, which is a shame. But like Ali, like I keep saying, why was he not in the squad? All right, I just don't understand that. And no disrespect to Fox, but like, there's no way he should be ahead of Ali. There's just no way. I mean, someone said it on the match reaction, like it's a bit disrespectful. I think it is. I don't think he's ill because he was on the thing on Tuesday. He wouldn't have went. He wouldn't have went. You know, him and Nelson were there. You know, chat out to Darth Vader. He went with his son and he said he had a good conversation with Ali. Do you know what I mean? Like, and obviously, them videos come out of Ali's YouTube, which obviously, you know, I think there's a little bit where he's obviously been told to do it. Obviously, meet the fans and that. And do you know what I mean? Like, he should be playing. Like, he should be like even the game we went to, that Port Vale recently. Ali was decent in that game. You know,
Yeah.
he hasn't been on the best form at the start of the season, but the recent games, I'd say he's done well. He should be in the squad, and I don't like that. He's not, especially in this game. I mean, that's quite. I think it's quite disrespectful, personally. Like, I get the other game was tactical and it worked, fair enough. But did it work this game? No, it didn't. So, yeah, that's how I see. Jackie says, I hope get him out. Yeah, on Brown. Yeah, I do agree. He's got to go now. He's got to go. But yeah, in terms of them ratings, there you go. No man of the match. As for the points, yet again, guys, none of us got anything. No one. A few people said a draw. And I was actually going to, but I didn't in the end. So, yeah, no one got anything. So the points are still the same. So, Jackie, you'll be happy because you're still obviously right up there. But yeah, moving on to the game on Sunday. Sunday, flipping hell. I think last time we said that was probably when we were in the Premier League, Dad. Sunday games. Obviously, we're taking on Doncaster. And to be honest, I'm not really too confident in this game, which is mad to say because they actually haven't won any of their last 6 games. But, you know, they started the season really well. They were right up there at the start of the season. I think they have got a few good players, despite the position they're in. I think Molyneux's a good player. He was causing us some problems. He just didn't have quite his finishing touch against us in the reverse game. Obviously, they got Matty Pearson, who needed to go. Well, for me, he needed to go earlier than he did at Luton, I've got to be honest. But for them, that's good experience. You know, so they got him. And they got a few decent experience, like Billy Sharp. I know he doesn't start loads, but he comes on and, you know, he's got a decent amount of experience. You know, they've got decently experienced players. Grant McCann, I don't think he's the worst manager. And they got a decent draw to Bolton yesterday, I would say. Obviously, they were 1-0 up, but still, that's a decent point, you know, given their form going into it. Obviously, still haven't won their last 6. So, I mean, that could be the only thing that gives us a bit of confidence, but it's going to be a very similar game to Exeter for me. It's going to be another tight game. Their crowd, you know, we're away. Their crowd's going to be up it. And if I'm being honest, based on the table, Doncaster can't really afford to even draw this game for me. They have to win because even if they win, they're still in the relegation zone. But the thing is, Burton are playing Plymouth away. And one of them teams is going to drop points or both teams are going to gain a point over Doncaster. So they need to really win this game. But yeah, I mean, for us, if we keep persisting with the same stuff, I just don't see how it's going to drastically change, like I've said in a lot of games, before we've done all right at home, really. So, yeah, I mean, how are you feeling going into this one, Dad?
A bit apprehensive, but, you know, again, we've got to pick up, haven't we? We've got to bounce back, but the performance has to be there. I think it probably will. They shipped a lot of goals. They got, you know, Grant McCann. I do think he's a half decent manager. They got, like you say, they got a couple of good players, some good experienced players. They're at home. They're similar size club to us in certain ways. I'm quite surprised how far they've fallen. I wouldn't be surprised if they, you know, put in a good performance against us. But I feel we've really got to be stepping up and getting something out of this game. No, we were talking about, 4 points from the next 2 games. Well, 3's the most we can get now. To keep in touch with everyone else. But, you know, after all this talk, I don't know what the weather's like. It's going to be fucking freezing. I think their ground's out in the open. Could be called off. You know, it's that time of the year. And you know what? I wouldn't mind that because, you know, we need some more players back. And, you know, maybe a sign-in and just give a little bit of a boost. But, it's a difficult one. Isn't it? You can never tell now. Especially away, it's a tricky game. But, yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, their last 6 games they haven't won. But I do think some of the teams they have played are quite difficult, to be honest. So they've obviously played Stockport, you know, obviously slightly better than us in terms of the league right now. Obviously Cardiff. And by the way, they only lost 4-3 to Cardiff. It's an absolutely crazy game. They actually went 1-0 up as well. And that was away for them as well. So that's not the worst result. Obviously, they got a thump into Plymouth, which ain't great, especially a team around them. Obviously, lost to Blackpool, but Blackpool, other than yesterday, have been on decent form under the new manager. And then, again, they played Stockport away. And again, they gave them a game, 4-2. So this is what I'm saying as well. I think it will definitely be, you know, a tight game between the two sides again. But the only thing that can give us, for me, a little bit of confidence is the fact they haven't won any of them games, them recent games. But it's going to be difficult for us. It's not going to be easy. Because I'd say they can't really afford to draw this. You know, they have to go all out for the win with the position they're in. Because I'd say even if they win, they're still in the relegation zone. So, and it is mad, like you say, the way they started that. I mean, they were right up there, you know, and we were like, wow, like fair play. Like we expected them to be all right, but like the fall off they've had. I mean, you know, you could say the league's caught up with them because obviously they got promoted, didn't they?
Yeah, and we was worried when we played them at Kenilworth Road. We thought, oh, you know, we were not lucky to beat them, but we didn't play well.
Yeah, Molyneux had some golden chances that game.
But, you know, they were poor, weren't they?
Yeah. I expect them to be much better that day. Exactly. And this is the thing, they're at home now. So, yeah, it's going to be a difficult game. But comments going into the game. Patchy says, Doncaster consistently look decent but can't get over the line. McCann a good manager, though, and won't go missing. Yeah, and I might be completely wrong on this, but another thing that does give me confidence, actually thinking about it, is I think we do have a good record over him. I mean, I think of games when he's been in charge, obviously the reverse fixture. When we went to Hull, do you remember the Hull home game? He was the manager then, and do you remember all the Hull fans? They were frustrated with him.
Yeah.
You know, that was a 1-0 win as well. So that's the only thing that gives me a little bit of confidence we can do something. That on top of their recent form. But, I mean, we've got to perform, man. We've got to be having a shot on target at least. I mean, if we come out of this game with no shot on target.
The thing is, Tyler, they leak goals.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, like I said, I've read out a lot of their games.
Put it on them, yeah, they might score a couple, but
it could even be a high-scoring game.
It could be, but I just don't think it will be. But if we don't get hardly any shots or score any goals against them, then there's serious problems with that formation. Simple as that.
Yeah. I totally agree.
But yeah.
Yep. Jackie says, I think we could bounce back. Jackie's got a bit of faith. Big up to Ed. He's actually gone 2-0 to them. Can't blame you, mate. Don't see us getting anything after the shambles I watched yesterday. Yeah, that's the thing. Away games, like the way we've been, they don't really give you confidence. And I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, mate. I've got to be honest. And that sounds really bad because of the position they are in. They find themselves in. Like, say, even with a win, they're still down there. But I just think if we persist with the same stuff, certain players still, it's just not going to work, to be honest. So that's how I see it. But yeah, in terms of our lineup, we have come together and obviously done a lineup together again. So let me just get it up on the screen. Obviously, if there's team news comes out tomorrow, certain players are back. Like I say, I'll do a little video on it, but we're basing it on who we know is available. So yeah, bear that in mind as well, guys. So in terms of the formation, obviously made it realistic with the formation we have gone with. I don't know last time we went with it, but we went with it at Stockport away, which is obviously the 4-1-4-1. And obviously it did work in that game. So Shay in goal, because we don't really know what on Keeley, and Shay wasn't bad, so I'm open to him playing again. We would actually go Longwick left back because he played there a lot for Huddersfield, and Johnson has obviously played 3 games in a row now. I think there was a few moments where he's a little bit shaky, so put Longwick there, who's actually been better as a fullback. Yes, I know it's been on the right, but I feel he's actually better on the left, but we haven't really seen it loads. But I know he played there for Huddersfield, and excuse me, Caden said when we had Caden on the channel, he played there a lot as well as centre-back. And he actually, I looked at his performances and they were pretty consistent there. And yeah, Walters on the right. I actually thought, like we said, he was our best player, so I would stick with him there again. Mengi and Anderson. Mengi on that left side because it's been working. Anderson on that right side, it has been working there. Saville in his own role. We done that at Stockport. It worked. It's not his game to be attacking. Yeah, he's being told to pass it back. Yeah, but you know, in terms of getting stuck in, he should be all right in his own role, I believe. As you can see, we have dropped Walsh for this game. I feel he needs to be on the bench. I would stick with Bramwell on the left. Obviously, if Kadoa is back, you could put him there, or you could even put Ali in. but I don't think we will go Valley. And hopefully it's a better game for Bramwell. Like I said, I'm not going to be overcritical of him because he has been good 9 times out of 10 for us this season. Morris on the right, again, if Kadoa's in, we'll definitely be putting him in. And no disrespect to Morris, that's just, I feel he's better as an impact player, and I feel he needs to be on the bench for this game. Clark and Lamine, Clark you have to put in. Lamine, we feel he's better attacking. He's shown better attacking signs. And then Wells up front because Yates was poor and Wells has been slightly better. It's very unlikely we're going to see Nordos. We probably both would have said him if he's been in the squad, but he hasn't been. So, yeah, that's what we'll go with. Anything you'd like to add on that, Dad?
That's it. That makes sense to me. Unless certain players are back from illness or in knocks or whatever. Richards could be available for all we know. Hakeem maybe. But we need a stronger bench anyway. That's for sure. So, but yeah, as the core of the group, I think especially defensively, I think that's quite strong. And we've been all right, really, defensively. It's just attacking. It's just that balance, isn't it? So yeah, that's what we're going to go with.
Yeah, it's mainly individual errors, really, like in terms of defensive goals conceded. Like it's either been like look at yesterday's game, we're not pressing them right for the goal. And then you look at like the Reading game, individual mistakes, Plymouth game, individual mistakes, Lincoln game, individual mistakes. Like that's what it is. Like it's so annoying. Like even when we drew to Port Vale, like I said it at the time, I actually thought we defended all right by the 2 goals. And it's just moments like that where we just switched off. And yeah, that's the frustrating thing. Score predictions, I'll go through them in a minute. No, I totally agree, mate. Honestly, I'm only saying it because we don't like Kadoa's got knock, so we expect him to be in because Wilshere kept saying loads of times it's not serious. But yeah, I said it myself, mate, not too long ago. I said it was on one of the recent episodes. Shaden Morris literally has a track record for coming on and being an impact player. And he's got so much pace. He can get at teams, and cause that havoc.
But on the other hand, that's exactly what Kadoa has been doing for us before he's been starting. So
yeah.
Terrible thing. If he's carrying a slight thing still, yeah, I'd start Morris, take him off after 60 minutes, bring on Kadoa.
Yeah, and hopefully we've got some flipping options. But yeah, I mean, in terms of that time, Dad's score prediction, are we going to bounce back or not?
Well, mine's more with hope than anything else. But I'm going to go for a 1-0 Luton win.
1-0. Okay, interesting. As for me, I've got to be honest, Dad. I'm going 1-0 to them. I've got to be honest. I just think, I'm not confident with us away. Really, based on the last game, I think it's going to be such a similar game. I think their crowd's going to be right up for it. They have to win. They can't afford to really do anything else because of the position they find themselves in. Even with a win, they're still in it. So yeah, I just don't think we'll win this game. I think we could get a draw out of it, and it's such a shame. I shouldn't be saying that. With all due respect, I shouldn't be saying that with a Doncaster side that have not won any of their last 6. But with us persisting with the same formation, with that sole one player up front, which is not working, how can I be confident? So yeah, that's how I see it. I'm not confident, unfortunately. Doncaster 2-0 Luton, says Harry. Again, another 2-0. They'll be well up for it, especially at Plymouth. But yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. They have to win because obviously you guys play obviously Plymouth. And either both teams are going to drop points. Yeah, I mean, I said that earlier anyway. 3-1 depends on the team. Jackie says, Jordan, Morris, Kadoa. I've got to be positive. Yeah, fair enough. And then 2-1. 2-1, Paul says, Kadoa and Jordan to score. Well, I haven't gone with the goal scorer. Who's your 1 goal scorer for us, Dad?
I'll go off the cuff in it. I'll go Royal Waters, mate.
Real Waters, Come on. But yeah, I mean, any final things, Dad, you want to say? I'm just getting GPT.
No, it's the same thing we always normally say. Let's hope we bounce back. We should see a better performance and that's all we can say, because it's inconsistent like that, isn't it?
Yep. Jamie's also gone with 1-0 to Doncaster as well. I'm just going to ask Chat GPT now. I completely forgot, and to be fair, I dread to think what Chat GPT is going to say. No, it's all right, I'm doing it now. It's probably going to either be hopeful that we win, or it's just going to be honest, hopefully. So, yeah, we'll get that up now. But yeah, while I do that, in terms of the content that's coming up, like I say, if any big news comes out tomorrow on availability of players, then I'll probably touch on it and do a little video. But if not, then we'll just obviously do the watch along on Sunday. Obviously, after match reaction as well. Hopefully, it's more positive, but I can't guarantee anything. So here we go. So it's gone with a 1-1 draw. It's actually gone with a 1-1 draw. It's not actually gone with us to win. Surprisingly, I think it did say 1-1 last game, though, to be fair, and that didn't happen, did it? So yeah, no, it says 1-1 for me, so I'll just go with that because it's number one. But yeah, 1-1. It's gone with Dad.
Yeah, well, I'd probably take that, to be honest.
Oh, mate. Honestly, I shouldn't be saying it, but I would based on my prediction. So yeah, there we go. It also says a 1-0 Luton win, Dad, is also within realistic range, apparently. So let's hope. Yeah, let's hope. Let's hope it's another 1-0 against McCann, but I just can't see it. This time it's away. Do you know what I mean? So we'll have to see. Paul says 2-1. I think I might have read that out. Interesting here from Patchy. He says, if Gibbs isn't fit, I'd start Brown over Morris. Last chance to see him actually start. And too wide, got to get his value up somehow. I mean, yeah, I hear what you're saying. But at the same time, it's got to be a situation from him. Like Mengi, where even if he is going to leave, he is putting them performances. And I think a large part of that, I will give Wilshere credit, because I think he's been a massive influence on that. Because it's ever been since Wilshere's come back, we've seen like the Mengi of the Premier League. But I just ain't got faith Brown's going to do that, mate. I really, really don't. I mean, we've played him up front, his main position. He ain't done a job there this season. We've put him more towards the right now. He's not doing anything there either. Even if we moved into like the left, I just don't think it would happen, unfortunately. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, there's probably something we're bound to do which we don't like in the lineup. 3-0 Plymouth. Oh, mate, honestly. Yeah, by the way, Harry's actually going all the way there as well. So that's the second time he had gone to Plymouth. First time was with me, and we lost on the fucking Friday night. So, yeah, that's great. So, Wayne Rooney's Plymouth, by the way. Whee! Victor Moses is our best player. Tells you a lot, doesn't it? But, yeah, I'd say big up to everyone that's tuned in and all of that. And, yeah, like I say, we will have the watch-along on Sunday. And then, thankfully, there's a bit of a break. But, obviously, we're getting to the Hut Show on Monday, react to this game. And then, obviously, on the Friday, be back to normal. As we go into the Stevenage game, Dad, which flipping hell, we have to win that really. But obviously the youngsters played each other today actually versus Stevenage. It's 3-3 at the break. It was a bit of a mad game, and we were 3-2 down, I think. So at least we didn't lose to them. But yeah, obviously we got that game. So yeah, we'll get into that. But yeah, hopefully we can get a result here first, but not very hopeful, both of us. So yeah, big up to everyone that's tuned in. Don't forget to smash a like on the stream if you haven't already. Do subscribe to the channel as well if you haven't already. Follow me across all my socials. Become a member if you can. Like I say, any big news comes out tomorrow on the team, or we actually start to get linked with players, because it is that time now, then obviously I'll talk on it. But if not, then you'll see me on Sunday. See my dad on Sunday. So yeah, until then, take care and peace.